It looks like Kevin Nash, big sexy Diesel, is continuing to show that his ego is just as fragile as his quads. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. And once again, Kevin Nash is continuing to attack LA Knight. He's continuing to bash LA Knight. And I really do not get what his problem is with LA Knight, who is quite clearly night and day above anybody in WWE currently when it comes to promos and when it comes to charisma. But Kevin Nash does not like LA Knight. He spoke before about how LA Knight is nothing but a rip-off. He accused him of being a rip-off to The Rock. He says that LA Knight reminded him too much of The Rock, as if that's a bad thing. Could you imagine that? Oh my god, the inhumanity, man, the horror that somebody is similar to The Rock. Please, no, we don't want somebody to be similar to The Rock. We want people to be similar to fucking boring fucks like Finn Balor. The line starts behind me. Or Gunther, boring bastards like him. C-Ring is sacred imperium. You know, like, screw that shit. No, we like LA Knight. LA Knight is good. LA Knight is one of the bright things in wrestling today, but not according to Kevin Nash. He was bashing him again. This time, questioning why LA Knight is so similar to The Rock and Austin, and then saying, why didn't LA Knight get over before WWE? So this is what Kevin Nash had to say, and it is pretty comical because it doesn't make a lot of sense, especially coming from someone who had failed gimmicks like Kevin Nash. But here we go, quote, "There's so many people who agree that LA is doing The Rock and Steve Austin. I mean, the guy's been in the business for like 10 years. Why didn't he get over anywhere else? If you're not over in 3 years, it's probably just not going to happen, right?" I was like, okay, this is a rib, right? Then it's not. It's just what the character is. So I get hot and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me, right? But they said I buried the guy. I didn't say he couldn't work. I've never seen him in the ring. I just said the character wasn't very original. I'm not going to apologise. I think it's a blatant rip-off, but I didn't mean any harm. End of quote. Right, okay, let's first start here. You could argue everybody is a rip-off, or at least everyone is taking something from somebody in the wrestling business. How many original, unique characters do we have? Not very many. As for Nash to say that LA Knight didn't get over, the guy's been in the business for 10 years and he didn't make it to the top. Well, I mean, first of all, that's not really true. The guy was head and shoulders above anyone in Impact Wrestling, and then the guy stood out big time in NWA, and that's why he got a big move to WWE. But what does Nash want? What does Nash expect somebody to do in Impact Wrestling? Does Nash expect somebody to become a global superstar in fucking TNA when only about 100 people watch it? You're lucky if TNA is on like channel 997 million. That's what kind of channel it's on. It's you have to flick through the TV for 1,000 days to try and find TNA on cable. Yet Nash is expecting someone to just make it to the heights without getting to WWE. The guy done enough to get to the WWE, and now he's been well received by the fans. Fans seem to be enjoying him. A lot of fans want him to be pushed, and it looks like Triple H might be heading in that direction. But I just don't get Kevin Nash's problem with LA Knight. The guy is clearly head and shoulders above everyone else, and it's like he's bashing him because he reminds him of The Rock. I mean, what kind of bullshit is that? What would you rather LA Knight remind you of? Would you rather he came out and ripped off like a Sheamus or ripped off Seth freaking Rollins? You know what I mean? Would you rather that? No, I want a guy that reminds me of The Rock. If you can remind me of The Rock and Austin, then that's a good thing. As DDP would say, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. And it is a good thing. Why the hell are we bashing somebody that has got any sort of remote comparison to The Rock? You know, arguably the most charismatic guy of all time. Look at what The Rock did in the wrestling business. Look at what he went on to achieve. And we're going to bash LA Knight because he gives us Rocky vibes, or he reminds us of The Rock. If you want to look at a guy that's trying to rip off The Rock, go and look at Ricky Starks in AEW. Ricky Starks is a guy that is trying to copy The Rock. He even gets called the Pebble, for God's sake. He is going nowhere, unlike LA Knight, who is going somewhere. And it looks like somebody also agrees LA Knight is going somewhere, and that person is Conan. He was talking on his podcast, Keeping It 100, and he actually came to the defence of LA Knight after saying that he did kind of agree that he was similar to The Rock. He's changed his mind. That's what Conan had to say. Quote, we had LA Knight on the show and I asked him about Kevin Nash and he said, quote, I said, hey, your cadence is a lot like The Rock's, and he goes, yeah, I know. He's not denying it, right? He's paying homage to the greatest who've ever done it on the mic, which I get. The first time I saw him in Impact, I said, this guy is kind of a Rock ripoff. That is the first thing I thought when I saw him. But then I kept seeing him. The Rock never said, yeah, or dummy. He's inspired by The Rock, who hasn't been in wrestling on a consistent basis for 25 years. What's the big deal? I see nothing wrong with what he's doing. End of quote. So there you go. That's absolutely fair enough. Like, The Rock is... It would be different maybe if The Rock was still wrestling full-time and LA Knight was maybe trying to act too similar to The Rock, then hell, maybe you could argue that's gimmick infringement or this or that, but The Rock maybe paying homage to somebody and taking little things from somebody that he admired and someone that he watched growing up and wanted to be like, and we're going to bash the guy for that, man? Are you serious, Kevin Nash? I think Kevin Nash is jealous. Honestly, he's probably got PTSD from the time The Rock buried him, and every time he sees LA Knight, it's just giving him flashbacks to that moment where The Rock was like, Big Daddy Cool, Diesel, You know, that's probably... Nash is probably getting fucking nightmares. He's probably going to tear his quad trying to run away from LA Knight. Anyway, guys, that's it. LA Knight is in the good books of Conan, not so much Kevin Nash. Look, I like Kevin Nash. I think the guy is intelligent. Whenever you listen to him doing podcasts, he is. He's great to listen to. But if we're being honest, as a performer, he wasn't very good. As a character, he wasn't the greatest either. You know, Kevin Nash was more cool because Kevin Nash is a cool guy. Not, in my opinion, his wrestling character was never really that cool. It was just more him being himself. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I just think it's a bit lame that he's coming out trying to bury wrestlers that are clearly pretty good by today's standards, yet for some reason he's got an agenda against LA Knight. Anyway, guys, that's it. Catch you next one. Being Fog Wrestling. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and peace.